All right, it's Sunday, and I'm making another one of these videos while I'm out of breath again. So enjoy my fucking panting. It's another weekend where sitting and looking at it doesn't feel like we did a whole lot, but you know, we did. So one of the biggest things was moving all these guys down here. I don't know how many wheelbarrow trips it was. Most of them came from up there and back behind the rotten ass patio thing. I don't know. That's got to be torn down. So a lot of these guys, I'm not sure they're going to do out here with their new locales. They were doing all right, getting almost a full day's worth of sun where they were, but it feels hotter back here. I'm not sure if that's my imagination or what, but what I've done to try and, I mean, I'm going to have to keep an eye on them and see who needs moving around, but what I've done for short term is put our ball beans in the center there because they're usually the most water thirsty, and so hopefully the bags around them will help keep those going. The small guys are the small guys. They don't need much. The difference, really between them is the bags. We don't need to worry about that. There's a lot of evaporation, which is handy with succulents, but when they've got all this sun, it's proven to be a bit of a problem when it's more than just like morning sun, 6 to noon or something like that. So keep an eye on them for next week until we get some better placement and or some shade cloth or something. One thing we do have working for us back here though is that this obnoxious eucalyptus tree that our neighbor has in their yard. I shouldn't call it obnoxious. I think all eucalyptus is obnoxious. It's my neighbor's property. Whatever. It'll fall down one day, probably on our barn. We'll get to file an insurance claim and get a bunch of money off of that, and that'll be fantastic. But in the afternoon, probably in about, hour and a half from now, it'll start casting some serious shade over here, so it'll help these guys adjust to their new location. Also moved this table down here. It doesn't look pretty. We've had it for like 5 years, but this thing, I was thinking about this as I dragged it down the hill all by myself. It's withstood a lot of abuse. It's had, it's traveled with us from Austin to our first place in San Diego to our second place in San Diego, sitting outside in all sorts of weather, and it's still like, it's warping a little bit. I don't know, but, it's holding up all right. Threw it in the shade to hopefully keep it from warping anymore anytime soon. So we get, again, like some shade going back here, some sort of shade structure. Not much else is going on along here. Our sugar bush is looking all right. Over here, it's a little hard to see on the camera because we haven't identified this conclusively yet. Definitely seems to be like in the brassica family. PlantNet tried telling me it was a radish, and it might be, looking at that taproot, like some form of radish, but right now it's just acting like a weed, and we're going to let it, I'm trying to let it flower so I can get a better identification on it. Also, I can't pull all this up. I don't have the back for that. In any case, our sugar bush is looking better since I tied it up. I don't think I've done any video of it, but it was leaning over against the ground and starting to look kind of sad because of it, so picked it up and it's looking better. Not much went on up there. Still need to trim that bush back. Now it's in the shade in the video, I think, but that pretty bush with the pretty flowers. Let's risk it. Let's go up there. Let's see if we can find anything obnoxious that creeps us out today. So it's got these real pretty flowers on it. They're gorgeous, but it definitely needs to be trimmed back from the fence a little bit. I'm gonna come out here during the week. We talked to our neighbor over there, and he said this guy's usually out during the weekdays in his shed here, so I might toss a couple little pebbles at his window and see if I can get a hold of him. I was testing the soil over here. Looks pretty diggable, and it doesn't look bad either. We'll be able to plant some good shit up here when we're ready to. Just a little ways away though. We got a lot of clay, and it just dries out as soon as like this was wet, and now it's just hard as rock until it finally crumbles. But we'll plant this up, and hopefully that'll start breaking it up a little bit, and we'll amend it with time. Cali natives down the bank there, hopefully. Let's see, you can see the track from all the times I was going up and down with the wheelbarrow. Yeah, that's fun. What else happened? So a lot of those plants down there got pulled from up here. A lot of these seedlings need a better place, but I'm out of time for today. I'm actually getting really grumpy out here, so I'm a little concerned about pulling the gallon pots out from in front of this. I don't know for sure that the rabbits can get up here, but we've also got some ground squirrels, and I don't know if they're going to want to nibble on any of this, but keep an eye on it. Walter Anderson has some repellents that we can lay down that seem like they'll be effective to keep them out. We also bought some bird netting to replace this obnoxious chicken wire, because with the chicken wire I just can't get in there and do anything. So we'll go to the side back here in a moment, but I haven't really shown up front much in my videos. I don't know if Jenny did a video yesterday. I felt like she did. All right, so this had a ton of those plants that are now down there. They were along here, and there's Jenny. So those were moved out. Put this guy, so a lot of the bags, kind of like how I'm doing down there, keeping them grouped together, were grouped up here to help retain moisture. And as we spread them out, I put the ones that we really like most up against the wall to, try and keep that going. But the most impressive thing over here this weekend was we pulled out about 1 ton of ice plant from all this. Yeah, it's really hard. I should have done like a before, but it was all this, it's all this, just all the way over there, choking out the, or making the lemon trees unhappy. So we pulled them out. Then they trimmed up the lemon plants and put some feed down, so hopefully lemons will actually get it instead of the ice plant. And then we watered it down real good last night, and then watered it down this morning after throwing some wildflower seeds down. They're not the final product that'll be here. Probably going to be like super Mediterranean stuff, but interim ground cover, pretty flowers. Oh, and like just look at all these poppies we got popping up. Pop. You can't tell the sun's on my screen, but look how they're gorgeous, dude. Just check this. Oh man, they're just popping up wherever. They're just like, hey, whatever. Yeah, this is my native environment. Oh, and Jenny got the last of the rebar out of here. Very proud of her for that. And she made a good observation that the soil's really, well, top layer now is not great, but beneath that's pretty good. And we'll be able to plant some stuff over there with some amending to it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I got the last of these obnoxiously huge pots cleared out. That was a large part of the back and forth with the wheelbarrow too. I don't know how many times I went down there with stuff from there. There's Jenny again. And then yeah, a lot of the plants were cleared out. Potted plants were brought down from up here down to the backpack, and a lot of these got to go down there too. But the alpines, actually I should probably move the alpines a little further away, but I think those are going to wait to move down there a little bit longer until I've got a better idea about where I can put them. But all this was filled. I didn't do a good job of showing that off in past videos. I took down the last of the shade cloth on here, and Jenny hung up her wind chimes. They're pleasant when they're not too close to you. And we got all those pots down there still too that need need final homes. It looks like Jenny just watered them. Thank you, Jenny. I'm keeping an eye on those cacti and assorted stuff down there with those trees pulled out by the arborists last weekend. Waiting to see what they do. I mean, you can see that this guy right here leaned over because of all the shade to try and get more sun. I'm kind of wondering, come summertime, how they'll handle the increased sun without the trees kind of retaining moisture at the bottom. I know it's kind of like cactus. That's kind of what they do, is they hold on to moisture for fucking ever, but I don't know. I got a feeling that these guys might not be too enthused. Can't put a finger on where that feeling's coming from, but it is what it is. And then Jenny wiped all this down. It was a mess. And Jenny got up her hummingbird feeder over here so we can hopefully see hummingbirds. Her office is there. And then this bird feeder for finches, which we've got plenty of around here. And my office is right there, but my desk faces away because I don't want to see outside. And yeah, like I said, I'm tired, I'm grumpy, I'm sweaty, I'm smelly. We still don't have hot water. Our friend Danielle is nice enough to let us use her shower. So we'll be going over there tonight. But in the meantime, I'm fucking done today. I'm gonna go fucking clean up. Pick up tools and shit and go sit inside and try and get my head on right. Oh, I don't know I wonder if I could do a comparison on how big that's gotten. That compost pile. It's massive now. It's huge. I don't even know what to. It's gonna take it like, I don't know, 2-3 years to break down. Who knows? But it is. So, all right. That's all I got. Bye.